Jasper unleashes its fury. The Category 2 monster belting far north Queensland, delivering unrelenting rain, flash flooding and wind gusts to 140 kilometres an hour. Inside the impact zone, 35,000 homes right now without power. Trees downed and major roads cut off. SES crews deployed across the region as the race to recover begins. This morning we have special live coverage with the latest on the system still impacting on Queensland.
Also this Thursday, Australian warships called to the Red Sea, the high-stakes request from the United States as tensions grow in the Middle East.
Breaking overnight, a suspicious blaze on Sydney's lower north shore. 3 cars set alight. We're live to the scene.
Plus, wake up a winner. It's the final days of our epic $30,000 Samsung giveaway.
And introducing Neil the Seal.
Day 4 here with Neil. He's back on the road.
The mischievous Tassie local causing havoc around town. Today, Thursday the 14th of December 2023.
This is a special edition of Today, live from far north Queensland.
Good morning and welcome to this special edition of Today. We are live from Cairns this morning. It is 5 a.m. on Today, 4 a.m. here in Queensland, where Jasper, now a tropical low, is still churning across the state's far north, bringing a lot of rain, as you can see. I want to take you first this morning to the very latest developments. This is just in from the Bureau, the latest information as we go to air. Firstly, Jasper has just been downgraded from a Category 1 cyclone to a tropical low. But that doesn't mean the threat is over. Damaging winds and heavy rain are still pounding the region. The Weather Bureau warning more is coming as the system moves inland. And with that rain comes this, a massive warning of life-threatening flash flooding from Cooktown all the way down to Cardwell. We are waiting for the sun to rise, of course, for the first light of the day to see exactly how much damage has been done. Our reporters are standing by in the key locations across the impact zone. But first, here's a look at what played out last night. Jasper takes on far north Queensland.
Looks like the cyclone has claimed its first victim.
Packing a punch.
Keep going, Jasper. We got more to go.
Port Douglas, Cairns and Cape Tribulation copping the brunt of the storm.
It's taken out the corner of the house, the satellite dish on top. There's a nice size rainforest tree, that's for sure. It's about 40 metres long, and I don't know whether you can see up the back there. The root system has all been pulled up as well.
Winds so strong, trees 40 metres long were ripped up, roots and all. Some barely withstanding the battering. Locals also braving the elements. Some areas copping up to 200 millimetres of rain, not as much as initially predicted, but still enough to leave a mark. 37 mils fell in Port Douglas.
Look at the rain that's just howling through the main street. Now it is howling through the entire town. There's no one here that could be missing what's going on right now. Just have a look at one of these gusts coming through. This is what happens. They ease off for a moment and then they come roaring through.
Cooktown feared it would endure a direct hit. Instead, locals made light of the situation.
You're like Jasper, mate. You're not even going to overblow it.
In Ellis Beach, some describing the storm as unprecedented.
I've lived up here all my life, been through a few cyclones and repaired a lot of roofs over the years, being a plumber. But to sort of be here and experience this at the moment is pretty surreal.
Others a little more optimistic.
Should be all sweet, just a bit of piss and wind, I hope.
Yeah, we felt the peak of the storm here in Cairns around 7, 8 o'clock last night. And while we didn't take a direct hit, we certainly felt the force of Jasper as it passed over the coastline. Mia Glover is standing by for us in Cairns, another part of Cairns. Good morning to you, Mia. Which part of town are you in and how's it looking there?
Good morning, Sylvia. We've come out to the marina this morning just to get a glimpse of really what's happening before first light hits, and we can really start to travel around the town and see what the damage has been from this ex-tropical cyclone. I'll just get you to take a look at the rain. It has been absolutely pelting all night. It has not stopped. The good news is the wind has stopped. At the moment, we're in a bit of a lull. You can see the trees are still, which is good. But it's that rain that really has authorities worried about inundation to those low-lying areas right across the Cairns region. We're talking about 15,000 properties and residents who live in those low-lying areas. They're called the red zone. They have already been evacuated, told to seek higher ground, go to their relatives or their friend's place, or even head to those evacuation centres. The problem is those centres can't take pets, so a lot of them have decided to leave their homes and head either inland or head further south where this system isn't hitting. That is the big issue. So we will know more as we see first light and see if those homes have been inundated, because that rainfall is going to continue right throughout the day, according to the Bureau of Meteorology. Those winds are expected to pick up yet again today, reaching around 100 to 110 kilometres per hour. So far, we've seen around 40 millimetres of rain here in Cairns, but there's a hell of a lot more to come where that came from. Those winds, though, have caused mass destruction right across the Cairns area. We've seen trees down, they've been uprooted from their bases. At the height of this tropical cyclone, when it was hitting at around 7 o'clock last night, there was debris flying everywhere. We saw branches all down the Esplanade into the Cairns CBD, more trees down. You can hear the roar of that rain probably in my microphone this morning as we're going to air. But also those winds caused a power box to explode, and that caused mass outages to so many homes. You mentioned just a little bit in the opener there was around 35,000 homes and businesses in the far north without power. Well, around 21,000, 23,000 of those are just here in the Cairns community alone. So they're waking up with no electricity this morning. It is a really eerie feeling around town, isn't there? I tell you, it's just really, really eerie. No tourists can be seen. Everyone's hunkering down and just waiting out ex-tropical cyclone Jasper.
Yes, we are. We don't have any intention of closing unless it becomes unsafe for customers, staff, or whatever. But yes, no, we've stayed open the whole time and it's been a good day. I'll stay open if I've got power. If I lose power, then that's it.
And that's the problem, isn't it? If people lose power, well, they can't keep their businesses running. Of course, it is nice to see some businesses wanting to service the Cairns area because so many places have shut up shop. The other hard thing is, Sylvia, with those outages, Ergon crews can't get to them because it's just simply too dangerous to operate and restore that power in those areas. So it is going to be a very long morning for those people in the Cairns area.
And they're still going to be out in the elements when they're trying to restore that power. Like, as you mentioned, the rain is still torrential, 40 to 50 mils in the gauge across Cairns already. And we've been warned of another 150 millimetres today, maybe even more into Friday as well. And interestingly, just having a look at the Bureau website, the strongest falls, the heaviest falls so far, have been to the south of the system, around Innisfail, up to 130 millimetres. So that's why that warning for flooding, life-threatening flooding, is present right across the far north region. Let's go to the north now, though, to Cooktown, where we find Andrea Crothers. Andrea, good morning to you. A sigh of relief up there, I suspect.
Yeah, good morning, Sylvia. Certainly a vastly different story up here in Cooktown. At one point, the community was meant to be in the direct line of fire before Jasper eventually dipped further south. So Cooktown escaped those destructive winds you've seen down in Cairns and Port Douglas areas around there as well. In terms of actual casualties, the hospital phone lines, the landlines went down, but all calls were diverted to a mobile. So instead, here we saw around 49 millimetres of rain since 9 o'clock yesterday, so far below what was forecast. There was a cyclone shelter set up at one point that was closed by afternoon, and businesses which remained cautiously shut in the morning, well, they were open by afternoon as well. So locals around these parts, very relaxed.
The locals seem very calm and relaxed about the whole show, so I just go along with that.
It's all good. Yeah, another six-pack will be right. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, something tells me that wasn't his first beer, Sylvia.
I think you might be right. You're onto something there, Andrea. Yeah, they know how to ride these things out up here. They do it in style. Good on you, Andrea. We'll check in with you again shortly. So far, guys, it seems the areas most impacted by Jasper have been Cape Tribulation, Wudjil and Port Douglas. The beautiful tourist mecca of Port Douglas got hit really hard. You saw in that earlier package our reporter Josh Bavis. He was out in the thick of it, and we will touch base with him shortly. We'll also get an update from Ergon Energy about how they're going to restore power and how long that may take. That's a big concern across the region right now. More than 30,000 homes without power.